Hey man, let's just speak upon something right quick that been on my mind for a while. I just like when I get ideas, it just comes to me like that. So I have to speak upon it. Let's just talk about labels right quick. Just labels. People that give themselves labels. Like when people say I'm a king, I'm a god, I'm a this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm this, I'm this. When you give yourself a label, I have noticed this a lot with people. People give themselves a label that don't match their reality. And what I mean by that is people will say, I'm a king. How are you a king? And how are you a king, but you not waking up in palaces, you not waking up in, you know, butlers in your face, you're not waking up in that reality. So how can you call yourself a king when you're not living that reality? How can you call yourself anything when you're not living that reality? And I have noticed this with people. People call themselves things that they're not living in full time, like their reality. And it doesn't make any sense, and it feels like people is living up to an expectation that they can't even live up to. Because I understand when you call yourself a king, a god, a leader, all these things, all these powerful words and all these, things. I don't even think when people say that, can you live up to that expectation? Can you live up to that king man? Can you live up to that king magnitude? Can you live up to that God frequency? Can you live up to that, leadership role? Can you do that? And I feel like when people call themselves that, I feel like they have people around them, or yes men that have people around them that make them feel like that, because they feel like, because you got responsibilities and choices you have to make, you think you in a god role, like you in a king role, because you got things else to do. It really don't match. It really is like, it's like you can call yourself something, but it don't match what you're doing. Does that make sense? It's like you're calling yourself something that don't match, and it confuses me, because it's like people like to live in a false reality. People like to live where they can call themselves a label, but they're not living up to the label that they're calling themselves is as is. I'm sorry, but it's like you will call yourself something, but it don't match what you're doing. It doesn't match. And people call themselves that because they feel like they're entitled to. They feel like they got people around. Oh my God, I got people around that they listen to me. They do this, they do that. They do all these things, but it doesn't match their reality. It's like people give people like, it's like you want to be something that you call yourself just to have validation, just to feel like you're doing something in the world. That's like a boxer saying I'll box but never go to the boxing gym. What's the point of calling you a boxer if you don't go to the boxing gym? Like, why do people do that? And it feels like, because once you call yourself a label and you're not doing it, you're already walking in lies. You're already lying to yourself off rip. You're already doing that. So why call yourself that when you're really not that? Why do that? Why do it? Why hold yourself up to a higher expectation when you can't even hold yourself, like, it's like you can't even hold yourself up to a higher expectation on what you're saying, but you expect people to hold you to a higher expectation. You expect people to say, oh my God, you're this, you're that, but you can't even hold yourself up to the higher expectation. You don't even know what that feels like. You don't even know what that feels like to be a king, to be a god, to be a leader. You don't know what that feels like. You think because you got people behind you, that makes you a king or a god, because people lean on you for things. I don't know why people expect that, and it feels like people want to be called something just for validation, for attention, for a fame, for popularity. So it's like people convince themselves of lies. That's like me. Let's say I'm in the mirror. I just wake up. It's the morning time, right? And I go in the mirror and I say I have small ears, knowing doggone well I have big ears. What's the point of lying to myself off rip? What's the point of giving me something off rip? What's the point of doing that? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. And people keep doing this, and it's already lowering their vibration. It's already dumbing them down. When you label yourself something, it's okay to label yourself. Don't get me wrong. It's okay to call you, it's okay to label yourself. But when you label yourself, let what you're labeling match your reality. Because if it doesn't match your reality, you're lying to yourself mostly every day. Every day. You're mostly lying to yourself every day to get to be a false image, to be something, you know? And I feel like when people call themselves that, they feel like they feel like they have entitlement to do that. They feel like they somehow, I don't know, like, I don't want to say they have like some type of greed or some type of, I'm this, you know what I'm saying? I'm like that. But really, you're not like that. You're not. But they think when people reward them on that, they think they're somebody though. When really they're nobody. You know? It's like me calling myself spiritual when I don't meditate, I don't do nothing, I don't do anything. What's the point of calling you spiritual if you don't do it? You know? Like me as a person, I'm a righteous person. I like to do righteous things, you know? I take care of myself. I can call myself spiritual because I wear spiritual bracelets, I wear crystals, I do everything to help myself mentally. I can call myself that. But when you're calling yourself something that don't match your reality or giving yourself a label, you're lying to yourself already. You're lying to yourself. And people need to realize that. You know, you need to realize what you're doing. And, you know, and people don't understand that when they label themselves. Don't label yourself something that's not true. Don't do that. Because you're already in a lower vibration. You're already walking on eggshells. You're just waiting for one of the eggshells to crack. That's all. You're just waiting. You're just saying, hey, bro, I can call myself a king. And then when somebody say, hey, bro, you're not a king, you get upset or you get in your emotions. What's the point of giving your emotions? What's the point? You're already lying to yourself. But when an eggshell cracks and somebody tell you the truth, it's a problem now. It's a problem now. How is this a problem? You lie. It wouldn't be a problem if you just told yourself the truth. It wouldn't be a problem if you just been real with yourself. How are you supposed to be? How can you be real with yourself? You know, like how can you not be real with yourself and you expect people to be real to you? You expect people to tell you the truth, but you walking in lies every day in that mirror, telling yourself false things every day. Come on. And it's so crazy because people do this all the time. All the time. Like, why do people do that? It's okay to call yourself something. It's okay. But when you give yourself a label, make sure it matches your reality, bro. You know? And I'm out.